So why we will probably never see a Fire and Forget Hellfire being added to the game? So the AGM-114, or the Hellfire, is one of the most well-known missiles that were produced by the US and used by it and its allies, right? It's a missile that everybody kind of loves, everybody wants to have it, and yeah, there is always a complaint about this missile in the game because we don't have Fire and Forget versions. So let's talk about that. Why we will probably never see a Hellfire that it's actually Fire and Forget. And the problem with it might be that it's not even its fault. It's not even Gaijin's fault. It's just that it might be too OP if we actually get the Fire and Forget, or even it might not even work properly if we get the Fire and Forget version. So let's talk a little bit about it. So first of all, let's explain a little bit. The Hellfire, it doesn't matter the version that we have in the game, they are all laser guided together with an inertial guidance. This means that it will actually just guide itself semi-actively for a laser beam, right? With an inertial navigation that helps. You can see there in the guidance section, right? But we do have other missiles that are Fire and Forget in the game. Like, for example, the Tigers, right? Some of the Tigers, they have stuff that are pretty interesting. I don't have it here to actually fire to you guys, but you will get the point. If you ever face this thing, you will probably hate it. The Pars, right? For example, or there are some others that are Fire and Forget. They are IR guided, right? The same goes for the Spike missile that it is used in real life in other vehicles, not in here, but in the game we have. I have to remember which of the vehicles use this thing actually. For example, the Puma VJTF, of course, uses the Spike, right? Which is also a missile that can be used by helicopters and stuff. That it is, Fire and Forget. But remember, this is an IR guidance. So what is the most advanced version of the Hellfire that we have? Well, if you go in the highest ranks over here, you will see that the most advanced version that you normally see will be the K model or something similar to it, okay? Normally, you will use the B in the older versions of vehicles, but in a general sense, you will see the normal B or K models being added. And what does that mean? Well, it means that at the end of the day, it is a missile that is laser guided. It will always be semi-active, which means that you need to maintain the laser guidance until the missile hits the target. If you change where the target is going or where the laser is, if you want to, whatever, the missile will change its direction. So this is how it works. And to be honest, it is pretty effective. What is the problem with that? Well, the main thing is the range, together with having to basically just stay within looking at the target, obviously, right? So, of course, these missiles, they do not have a lot of range. As you see, 8 kilometers is the more or less standard range of it, which means that you have to expose yourself to the new AAs even, right? Which is a little bit problematic sometimes. But what about a Fire and Forget? You just said that there is a Fire and Forget version of the Hellfire. Yes, indeed there is, guys. It is called the AGM-114L, or Lima, right? This is the Hellfire longbow, normally used in the Apache, of course, and this is a Fire and Forget version, but it's kind of funny because it doesn't use an IR guidance, it doesn't use any type of laser or something like that. It uses radar, just like a certain missile that we already have in the game, but it actually basically got that removed. And I'm talking about, of course, the Brimstone. Yes, it is the same as the Brimstone, guys. It uses the same technique as in real life as the Brimstone missile. This missile in real life actually uses a radar to actually lock onto a target and attack its target. That means that you can fire all of these missiles in a Fire and Forget manner in real life and destroy multiple targets at once. A very heavy amount of targets if you take a look, right? And the Hellfire Lima would be basically the same. You would lock on to the target itself by using radar, which means no smoke will stop that. No any type of, countermeasure or anything like that normally will not work. Plus, it doesn't have an IFF, guys. So it locks onto every single thing that it looks like a tank or anything that they want to be using it against, and it will destroy that thing, which means that, yeah, friendly fires, right? So this is why the Brimstone, when it was added, became the Brimstone SAL. A lot of people complained about this because, of course, it isn't the proper Brimstone, right? This is a laser-only version. Of course, in real life, this missile can be fired from a laser-only perspective, but it can be used with a radar as well. It can be it's basically a dual mode, guidance mode missile, right? But in the game, it was added only as a laser and IOG missile, which actually makes a little bit of sense because in real life, this missile is only used in friendly field areas in a laser situation and not with the radar, just because of the blue on blue kind of situation that could happen with this missile. So in real life, we already have this. So this is the main addition why the Brimstone is only laser guided, okay? And this is why the Hellfire Lima would be the same. But Matt, at least the Brimstone is here. Why not adding the Lima version of the Hellfire, the longbow, with a laser guidance? Well, that's the problem. The first thing is that this cannot be targeted with laser as well. It's not a dual mode, just like the Brimstone. It's a missile that it's made to be only using radar, okay? Another thing is that it doesn't bring any difference to other Hellfires. It actually has the same range of 8 kilometers, and it will do basically the same damage. Which means that, yes, there will be some differences here and there, but at the end of the day, even if there were versions of the Lima that were laser guided to be added, it will be basically the same as the other ones that we already have. So, yeah, problematic, isn't it? So, yeah, guys, this is the problem with the Hellfire Fire and Forget versions. All of them are basically laser guided, and there is one version where it is a radar guided missile. And you already know that Gaijin doesn't want to add these missiles because of friendly fire, because they would be too OP. I mean, no smoke or anything could beat that, unless maybe an APS, right? So at the end of the day, it might be too much for them. It's problematic. I know. It's kind of controversial even. So it's kind of sad. But there is something that I wanted to talk about with you guys. It's not only this upgrade that we have from the Hellfire. We can have something like a modernized version of the K model, which would have a little bit more range as well. So, yeah, maybe we will never see the, radar-guided longbow version of the Hellfire, the L version, the Lima version, right? But maybe, should we see the K2 or some variant that it's a modernized version of the K or something that would have 10, 11 kilometers of range? That's my opinion. I think maybe the idea, since every single American helicopter uses these missiles, it's to go for the modernized case instead of going to the radar one, because Gaijin doesn't want to add those. Even if they add it, it might even be too OP, right? Even the IR ones, the PARs and spikes and stuff, they are kind of already too OP almost. So imagine a radar-guided one. And Gaijin already said they don't want to do that, right? So let me know in the comments, guys. What do you want to see in the American and some other nations, right? Helicopters. Do you want to see the Hellfire modernized? Do you don't care and you want to see the Lima version with the radar and BOP? Let me know in the comments down below. But this is the reason why Gaijin didn't add it, probably yet, some new version of the Hellfire, okay? So I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Thank you all the members and patrons, and bye. See ya.